Airport Home Appliance is here to help you with those outdated appliances with incredible store-wide savings. Save up to 30% off in-stock special buys and up to 70% off appliances on our online clearance outlet. Plus, get 0% financing for up to 18 months and immediate 2-day delivery on select appliances.
We have a wide selection of in-stock appliances ready to deliver right now.
Airport Home Appliance, unbeatable price, selection, and people.
Look, I know you guys don't want to do this, but we have no choice. We either bitch and whine or we just get it over with.
I got wine. I got the B word.
Yeah, well, it's still a contract to serve on the university committee. Frankly,
Dedicated to my best friend. Yeah. My lover and my best friend. I love you, best friend. Black milk on the beach. Yeah. She stood about 5'6" with some nice size tits. Her BSLs make a nigga bust quick. She only gets submissive when I'm giving her the dick. Any other time she bossy playing hard to get. We were friends before lovers. That's some real nigga shit. We both have a past and we recognize this. We don't put a title on our relationship. She lets me do me and I appreciate this. She's my best friend. Sometimes I wish she was my girlfriend. I want her all to myself, fuck her X-Men. I know better than to let my feelings get in the way of our friendship. That would be a sin, but it's hard because she's beautiful and hella cool. She's really smart, like the same things that I do. Now I'm confused and don't know what to do. I'm getting mad when she tells me she talked to other dudes. We argue on the phone. She hang up in my face. I'm feeling bad 'cause we ain't talking in a couple days. I text good morning love. She replied good morning babe. I text back I apologize. She texts back it's okay. We back talking again. I'm having better days. I got a bag. Call me a charade. I love my best friend. I love her even when she tells me that she don't want to be more than just friends. Cause even though I want her as my girlfriend, my heart knows that it's best she be my best friend. I love you, best friend. Black milk on the beat. My lover and my best friend. My best friend. I love her even when she tells me that she don't want to be more than just friends. Cause even though I want her as my girlfriend, my heart knows that it's best she be my best friend. I love you, best friend. Black milk on the beat. My lover and my best friend. My best friend. I love her even when she tells me that she don't want to be more than just friends. Cause even though I want her as my girlfriend, my heart knows that it's best she be my best friend. I love you, best friend. Black milk on the beat. My lover and my best friend. My best friend. I love her even when she tells me that she don't want to be more than just friends. Cause even though I want her as my girlfriend, my heart knows that it's best she be my best friend. I love you, best friend.
And many achievers show new loss. Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and lymph system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Every doctor who sees a patient
Yeah. She's about 5'6" with some nice size tits. And L's make a nigga bust quick. She only gets submissive when I'm giving her the dick. Any other time she bossy playing hard to get. We're friends before lovers. That's some real nigga shit. We have a past.
you're in my spot. Guys, our topic is encouraging women in science. And we have a sexist game. Sexist. I care for real that as well as any man. Not to mention she has some memory glands. Nurse is only 30. Enough milk left over to put a messy mouth. Mother or middle school, see if we can talk to some of the female students. Well, that's great. That sounds like for the three of us to go on with it. Hold on. Well, I'm comfortable speaking about science. I'm not sure how to spark the interest of school children. Better Google it. What exactly are you looking up? How do I get 12-year-old girls excited? No! Anyway, I was hoping I could get a video range now. I'm supposed to take Lucy on Friday, and I need a cute first date.
Well, evolutionary biology says that women are attracted to a male who's steady in the face of danger. I recommend an unsafe environment. TV bar, picnic near a lunatic asylum, a wine tasting on Skid Row.
Lucy has some social anxiety issues. Maybe we could start something simple.
Yeah, you just have to remember that ride is shorter than you think, and I took a picture of you at the end to make sure you got this one. It's a joke! Based on your
There might be too much of a deal.
I know
in pharmacy experience where pharmacists are knowledgeable and trained. Notifications of deliveries and timing. Deliveries arrive on time. And a little extra
Hey, what is going on?
How you doing?
Good, good.
You enjoy? Are you enjoying all the burn dog photos?
Oh man, people just went buck wild, man. Burn dogs just laid us all over the place with burn dog.
Burn dog's blowing up.
Mm-hmm. All right. Got like 4 more minutes.
Yeah. Quiet, you guys. Fucking cats.
So you said Thug Nasty will be sliding through, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, everybody, man. Hey, happy first full day without Donald Trump.
Woo!
Oh my God, is this? I can't even imagine how much we are celebrating here. Well, I can, but oh my God,
I'm glad he's gone.
yeah.
Woo!
Oh my God, yeah, yeah. I mean, for the last minute, up until the last minute, I thought he was gonna like bomb. Figured he was gonna bomb some shit or something. So, fuck. Very good news. Oh my God.
Man, I
Meanwhile,
was reading up on it, man. His people is a little upset, man.
who's?
Trump's.
Oh, I know, huh?
I
We
was reading on it, even though like I heard like the Proud Boys and like they realized he was weak, or they read some article that they're like, oh, we don't even mess with him no more. No more Trump, man.
So who the fuck are they get? Maybe maybe if they get one of their lunatics to run for office, it'll be a little better. You know, they'll have even less chance. But I don't know. I mean, that is why he needs to be impeached so that he can't run again.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Oh God, this looks terrible. Oh man.
Well, what's wrong?
I'm trying to get my
You are always
I know.
you and that punk.
Fuck.
I'm gonna send you the link though,
Okay.
like I usually do, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know this sucks. Hey, Lucas Monroe. Thanks, man. How you doing? Wow. What a fucking couple of days it has been. Seriously.
That's been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been crazy.
This is hopeless. I gotta get this figured out better. We're on YouTube. Okay. Okay. So yeah, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty good.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the nice thing about being on the West Coast, because by the time I woke up, Trump wasn't president anymore. It's very, very cool. But
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So did you watch that? So I mean, I watch everything on YouTube. I get snippets of stuff. So I watched some of it, but yeah, I mean, I was pretty moved. I was also wistful. Okay. Time for confession. You know, there's just so much like, oh, this is so wonderful for girls and stuff. And I was like, man, I wish there had been stuff like this. I wish this cool shit had been happening when I was a girl. It would have made a difference to me. And so I don't know, man. I want some credit for my generation. And I know the generation above me had it even worse. But there was nothing. I mean, when I was a kid, when I was a girl, I mean, there was nothing like that, you know? I mean, I was mad and what things were like, and yeah. So yeah. So once again, I posted about it on Facebook, and I took it down. Once again, young people looking at you, millennials, do not fucking complain to me about how hard you have it, okay? Because you guys have role models. You guys get a chance to do stuff. You guys don't get told that bullying just means you're pretty. I mean, so yeah. But yeah, yay Kamala. She fucking rocks.
Yeah, Kamala did it, man.
Yes, she did.
It was all fitted too. You see them all dressed up? Woo!
Oh my God, they look great. Yeah. I didn't
fitted,
know
man.
stuff like that. Very cool.
It was good.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna get this link and send it over to Thug. We're waiting for yeah. We got a real special guest tonight, everybody. So, yeah. Okay, so I just sent that to him and to Lamont as well. Well, okay. Welcome to our celebratory episode, everybody. This is Global History Radio, and we've been going on for 3 years doing our thing, and we have a really good time, don't we? And we are okay. We're no drama. We are the no drama
None.
venue. Not allowed. Not allowed.
Yeah, we're gonna try hard to keep that too.
Yeah, we better. Yeah, we're dedicated, man. Hey, if you ever, make a deal, man. If you ever start to feel any drama, hit me right up, okay?
Definitely.
Okay. So meanwhile, so the world is happening. Yeah, Biden just signed, there's supposed to be like 1 million COVID tests happening a day, something crazy like that. So yeah, and then older people and healthcare workers, frontline workers are getting their COVID vaccinations. Hey, you must be getting one, aren't you?
Yeah, they're gonna start pushing it in February. So I'm trying to wait it out as long as I can to see the what I would call the test subjects, the people who are already doing it, to see how they do.
There's already been a lot of test subjects. They couldn't. They can't put it out on the market.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, it's a real, people have strong opinions on this issue. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's one thing for frontline workers because I don't know, you're gonna face pressure, but for the rest of us that are just regular old people, I'm just like, those of us that want it should get it, and everybody that doesn't, that's not, can not get it. So anyway,
Right.
It's been almost a year.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Almost a year. I miss coming over to your house and doing it. Gives me a better.
I know. Everybody's missing it, man. Duck Soup. They was like, man, we got to do it. I said, man, when it gets better, we're gonna be back in action.
Oh yeah. You don't want to be.
I think it's gonna get better though.
I think so too. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting to see. Well, some of them won't even want to publicize it. How many of those rioters are going to catch it?
Yeah. So now you got to tell me what's the deal with that. Okay, so you're talking about the Trump rioters, right? Or are you talking about
the Trump rioters?
Now I'm seeing some about Antifa's rioting too.
Yeah. Yes, fucking idiots. People are like, I don't know if it's, personally, I am skeptical about how many people there even are in Antifa. I think a lot of it is just made up. I think it's just people, individuals that want an excuse to go smash shit. Yeah, there were people demonstrating in Sacramento and smashing up stores in Seattle and Portland. Okay, you don't see that happening in other cities. So
right.
Yeah, that's just kind of ridiculous, Age, oh my God, it's Age, man. Age, you want to come on the show? So okay.
You want me to send Age a link?
Sure.
Let's see if he'll come.
Okay, so here is a oh my God. there was some really fun. The Prime Minister of Scotland like issued a statement, and it was something or other like basically, oh, I have to find it, saying like something like skippity doo dah Trump, like basically we don't want you here. And the last days of Mike Pompeo, our supposed okay, Age is listening. I love you, Age, man. You're my guy, always. And so the last days of Pompeo scraps Europe trip after EU leader calls Trump political pyromaniac, and European officials publicly criticized Trump's role in last week's storming of the Capitol. They are so over him. So yeah, so that's Pompeo. And so here's a story. Okay, Alexei Navalny, we've been talking about him, and he is the Russian opposition leader that was poisoned and returned to Russia and was immediately arrested as soon as he got off the plane. That is fucking brave. He could have, I mean, he was asked about that. People were saying you could just stay in Germany. And he was saying, it's his country. So from jail, he had videos posted of Vladimir Putin's, the president of Russia's, lavish place. And so, yeah, he's chosen to go to jail, and there's trumped up charges against him, and he could be sent to prison for 10 years. But I mean, back in the day with somebody like that in Russia, they could real easily like just throw him away forever. But fucking social media, people are following him online. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Putin's been the leader for like 30 years or something. I mean, he's right up there with Yoweri Museveni. So yeah, man, I just felt for it. I mean, they knew what was going to happen, but it was really sad. I mean, they came to get him and took him away, and he just kissed his wife goodbye. And so then she was sitting there by herself because the plane was diverted from Moscow because there was going to be so many people there. So they diverted it to a smaller place. So she was still there at the airport waiting to get back. And in Uganda, our friend Bobby Wine, the rapper turned presidential candidate known as the Ghetto President, fucking brave as fuck. He's been campaigning, and he is now under house arrest. They haven't let him out. Him and his wife, they sent their children to stay with relatives, and they are challenging the results of the election. And we were talking about it last week. I mean, they don't even need to bother with the kind of stuff they do here in the US with like electoral college votes and all that. I mean, they can just like, I mean, this stuff's regional. So there's places where Bobby Wine was going to get a lot more votes. So they could just not take the boxes from that part of the country. So, you know, I mean, all of that is just really sad. And yeah. So we are seriously hoping that they can get some fucking liberation there, you know? So, okay, so we've got okay, so that's what's going on in Uganda. We've been following Navalny and Bobby Wine for a while. Okay, Indonesia has had a really fucked up. I'll send it to you, Taylor. Rizal, do you have the YouTube link?
Yeah.
No?
You want me to? Yeah, I sent it. I put it on your page.
On my page? Okay, I'll send it.
Are you talking about the link? Are you trying to send him the copy of this link?
Okay. I sent him the Zoom. I think Taylor just wants to watch on
YouTube.
On YouTube, which is cool. We could use some YouTube.
Yeah, the link is on your page.
Yes, here it is. Cool. Okay. Okay, so here's what was happening in Indonesia. A 6.2 earthquake struck the northwestern coast of Sulawesi Island in Indonesia. It killed like hundreds of people, destroying homes, flattening a hospital, and setting off landslides. So last I checked, they were only listing 35 people, but it's more than that. And then on Saturday, a jet crashed into the Java Sea with 62 people aboard. And then the area hit by the quake was about 160 miles southwest of the city of Palu, where an earthquake and tsunami struck in 2018, which killed thousands of people. And you know how it seems like earthquakes strike in the same places a lot? Well,
right.
that particular spot is a spot that's real vulnerable to earthquakes. So that sucks.
Wow.
So yeah, so we're sending good thoughts into Indonesia. Okay. This is okay, so here's kind of a strange story from Great Britain. There was a program in Great Britain for many years where spies to infiltrate domestic groups. So not like super like radical environmentalists and people like that, where you're like, what the fuck? Why are you even, what is the point of that? And what they did was steal identities of children that had died. They'd go into, and this went on like until the 90s. I mean, they'd go to and death certificates and find like people about their age and take on their identity. And like they'd even learn, they'd learn stuff about them and all of that. And they would really join these movements and become part of these communities. And so a lot of them had kids, which was just with women who unknowingly, like this. So, I mean, this person you think is your boyfriend or partner isn't who you think they are. And so not only that, it was really traumatic for the relatives of the dead children. Because some of them, God, these people are stupid. They get like draft notices for people that had died years ago. Yeah, it was used for 3 decades, at least. 42 undercover officers created fake personas based on the details of dead children. And so when the relatives of these children found out about it, it was just devastating to them. I mean, people said it felt like their memories had been taken. And so they are petitioning to find out about that, and so are the women who hooked up with these guys and had babies with them and then just had them disappear. I mean, how sociopathic is that? I mean, you're living with this person day to day and having a kid with them, and then you just disappear. And
Wow.
it's another thing that, again, I mean, I don't see how anybody could do that now with social media. It's so much easier to track people, but I mean, it was to infiltrate groups like basically like the 1980s versions of like civil rights groups and environmental groups and animal rights groups. I mean, people that were not groups that were not dangerous. So there was legislation was just passed by the House of Lords. I mean, England has this thing where there's people that are like hereditary people that get to vote on things, and we'll get into them more later, because also plenty of them we were talking about one of them last week who owes reparations because his family were slavers for hundreds of years. So not only does this guy get to vote just because he was born, who he was, I mean, he's also like fucking rich off of human rights abuses. So the House of Lords voted to make it illegal for the police or MI5 informants to stop them participating in murder and rape. Like, suppose they were allowed to do that. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't that supposed to be like how you find out if somebody is undercover, by asking them to do something like that? And
Right.
so, yeah, it was claimed that codifying this would make it easier for terrorists to test people. Well, yeah, like, so the fuck what? It's like, if you murder somebody so that to keep your cover as an undercover agent, you're still a murderer. And so the US, Australia, and Canada all recognize the need for common sense limits to prevent undercover agents being authorized to commit murder, torture, or rape. And now the House of Lords has too. So these people are fucked up. And, I mean, I'm sure now that they would, and they also needed to they also were outlawing using people that were under 15 as undercover informants. And that's fucked up, because the only reason somebody would be doing that would be to keep from going to jail themselves. And so, like, what the fuck, you're gonna send a 17-year-old in some place with a wire, whatever, so
Right.
yeah. So that is pretty fucked up. There's a show about that where this woman is a lawyer, and she finds out that her husband of like 25 years, they have 3 kids, and they'd met in an organization that she thought he was part of, that he has been undercover all along. And so not only did these people do that, I mean, they just leave behind their own families. They just disappear. So now I think it's pretty safe to assume they're going to have a lot of young people of Arab descent trying to get them to infiltrate cells and radical groups and stuff like that. But I mean, that's its own thing. But no, they should not be allowed to torture people and commit murders.
I agree.
Yeah. Really fucked up. So Okay, so there was something related to that because I mean the theme is having your identity stolen is like having your past stolen. And so we've talked before about the case of the Yemenite children who were children of Jewish children of Arab descent, and it is believed that they were taken, who came to the state of Israel in the 1950s, and it is believed that that some of the children were kidnapped and given to Holocaust survivors who, for various reasons, were unable to have children on their own. And so some of the ways they found out about that was people received draft notices for children they thought had died. And so there's different opinions about it. One of the things, I was reading reports from a doctor who was there at the time, and he said that one of the reasons that, like, some of the situations where children had died, autopsies were performed on them and without the consent of the parents. So that was one of the reasons that they would not have received the body of their child to bury. And that there were cases where people were afraid of the authorities, so they didn't claim their children. Kind of like one of the things Joe Biden did today was issue an executive order to reunite the children at the border who were taken from their families. And that for some of them, that's now been, for some of them, it's now been a couple years, and the parents have been deported. And these people were so fucking incompetent. Like, even at the hospital, you can, like, you slap a bracelet on a kid and on their parents and to match them up again. So they're going to need to do DNA testing. But hopefully, with some of the cases, especially for like real minor children, you'd think with like older kids, they'd be like this, you should be able to take their word for it. Like, this is my parent, or this is my auntie or uncle, because some children would have made the trip. We talk with aunts or uncles or extended family, and those are their guardians. So people are saying that they might, that there might be more of a chance of reuniting people now, because some of the parents would have been scared to come get their kids because they'd be scared of being deported. Or extended family, the children, like these children, they could have been sent to extended family in the United States, but if the extended family was undocumented, they may have been afraid to claim the children as well. But yeah, it should not be that hard to match up children with their parents. And it's just horrible. And it's going to be like a really traumatized generation, and they're going to be permanently damaged when you're terrified and traumatized at such a young age. It damages their brain. Well, I'm never going to like entirely condemn anybody. Some of them are going to be, it's just incredibly traumatic. And, because people you don't want to condemn anybody. So that's some of the stuff Uncle Joe is doing. So, okay, there is, oh my gosh. Do you want to play some music?
Sure, let me do that. I want to test it out
Okay.
anyway. All right.
Okay, cool. Okay, everybody, we are gonna take a couple minutes break and we will be back. Thank you, Facebook.
It's Global History Radio time. Hold on a second. Let me switch my shirt. I'm back. I hear myself. What's up? Why you keep staring at me like that?
I don't know, dude. I'm froze.
What's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
Nada.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
So why am I getting the repeating? Or echo?
I don't hear any echo. You hear an echo?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have two devices going? Do you have your phone and
No. Let me see.
are you listening?
I'm listening to y'all. Actually, no, I'm not listening to it.
Yeah, because you're the only one that's doing it.
I don't know why. One of the oddest things.
So
It's still it's echoing right now.
yes.
That's weird, dude. Let me try something though. Yeah, I don't know why it would be doing that.
You're sharing the audio.
What's that?
You're sharing the computer audio.
Yeah, it was at first.
Are you using a
Can't be
microphone?
doing it now. Nah, dude, I'm going straight off the computer now.
Where's the audio playing from?
There is no audio playing.
Like, where are you hearing this from?
I'm not hearing an echo.
My voice.
I'm hearing it from you.
Where is it coming from? What speakers?
It's coming from my computer speaker.
Okay, I think I can hear myself from your speaker.
Think it's too close?
Yes.
Oh, is that it?
All right. Let's see. Let's try something here. Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense, though.
Yeah, I'm hearing myself from your speaker.
So wait a minute. Hold on here.
Like it's
see
the
something.
delay.
Hold on. Video settings. You'll see. Mute. Microphone. I know you hear that.
Yes. But I hear that off your computer. Like it's not direct.
Yeah.
Why don't you stop sharing your computer sound?
Okay, let me see. All right, so should I go portion of screen?
No.
Because I'm into share screen.
Stop
sharing it. Period.
Let me see. That's how I've been doing it, though. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, we weren't at.
Oh, she just froze up. That's weird. It wasn't doing this at the beginning.
Yeah, that's weird. We didn't change it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it wasn't doing it.
it's still doing it. So it wasn't your screen.
Hold on, dude. Let me see. Let me see something, man. Let me do it like this. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense because I only have one speaker as the speaker from the computer. So if I did turn it off, how would that work? You see what I'm saying?
No, I get you, but it's weird that your computer is picking up our echo. I'm gonna exit and I'll come back. Anna,
Yes.
I want you to test it out and see if you still have an echo.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Let's see.
You know what?
Do you hear echo now?
It sounds like I'm echoing. No, not anymore.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Let's see what happens when he comes back in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. Now you don't hear no more. I didn't hear an echo anyway. So
That's weird.
I didn't even hear one. So let's see what happens now.
I have it happen sometimes when I'm with my friend on Messenger.
Let's see. You hear an echo?
I don't hear an echo.
Spider.
Yo.
You hear an echo?
Nope.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
That's weird.
I have it happen like sometimes it just happens.
It's cool. We fixed it. Maybe it was a delay in the matrix.
Delay in the matrix.
Yeah.
All right, hey everybody. We're thrilled, y'all. We have Spider joining our inaugural celebration, man. How did you enjoy your first full day without Donald Trump being president?
Oh, do you really want the honest opinion?
Of course. No, I like to lie.
I was really kind of disheartened, man. Like Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, he's not entertaining. I look for a lot of entertainment in my characters. And so like it's almost like reading like a boring like detective comic where there's no action going on. It's just like reading clues and finding, solving puzzles. It's no fun. It's like second to crossword puzzles.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like, and I was talking to my mom about this. The next 4 years are gonna we'll be stable, but do we really want to like not have that entertainment factor? I need that in my life.
Yeah, I like stable.
I need that in my life.
We can make our own entertain. I got no problem making my own entertainment factor, man.
Well, Joe Biden is pretty entertaining. I mean, he does do some pretty sleepy stuff.
I love him, man.
He's definitely a sleepy guy. You know what's funny about Joe Biden? I can see some comedy coming in from this guy because, when he was doing his whole speech thing, I've noticed this pattern where he starts to really accent the amount of black people that he's around. It's so funny. Have you ever noticed that, Ro? Like, I heard him say something like the other day, like, I came on the train with a black man as president, and now I'm coming back on the train with a black woman as vice president. And it was like he really accents the blackness that he's around, like he's real proud of it. All these black people on my cabinet.
He's a white. I mean, he's a white guy in his 70s. I mean,
I know it's funny though. It's real.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to find any level of comedy with this guy. And if we can if he's got a funny bone in him, or if we can make fun of him in any way, I guess that's the way we'll have to do it.
He's totally funny, man. We can totally make fun of Uncle Joe.
Oh yeah,
Man,
Uncle Joe.
Love him. Yeah.
He's the free-formed racist. It's so funny.
I
love black people and brown people, and they can be as good as white people. They're not poor at all. I love him. He's great, man. I love Joe.
I love Joe too. I've always loved Joe. I mean, I've met Obama, but yeah, during those 8 years, I was like, Matt, thanks. I was like, it was cool. It was cool to meet Obama, but I would really like to meet Joe.
Sleepy Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him.
Now I really want to meet Kamala, but.
Oh gosh, Kamala is another story. Jeez, man, talk about somebody that She's already starting off on the wrong foot with this laugh. I'm sorry. Like, I
With
don't know
what?
if that laugh she be doing. I mean, for real, like we need to stop. Someone need to give her some pointers. She needs to get with that publicist and talk about that.
She needs a laugh coach.
Yeah, because she be and I'm just talking about personalities right now. I'm not talking about their politics because we already know they're Democrats. They're gonna be okay. They'll be safe. But we need that pizzazz, man. I miss the Sarah Palin moments, and I miss all that. Why can't we have more of those?
You're one of a kind, Spider.
I like controlled chaos. Let's say it like that. Controlled chaos.
Wow.
Oh,
Trump,
chaos.
that's what Trump was, because he had the generals around him that are like, it's all good. He ain't touching the button. Controlled chaos. He's
Oh,
not
man.
touching the button. Don't worry about it.
Man, that's
Let him general.
Yeah,
Let him play with his missiles, but he will not touch that button.
I was glad when I was like up to the last minute, man. I was thinking he might just hit the buttons. Seriously.
They had hid it from him.
I don't believe that.
They hid that shit. Yeah, they gave him a fake one. He was walking around with the fake one. It had a bunch of it had a bowling ball or something in it. He really thought he was no, they tricked him a long time ago.
Maybe.
You know what I was worried is that he was going to tell everybody about aliens and we wouldn't know if it was real or not. Like he would just get on stage and be like, I got some breaking news. On inauguration day, right? Let me tell you about some aliens. Let me tell you what I know.
I think that's wishful thinking on your part.
No,
Maybe.
it's not even wishful thinking. I'm serious. Like, what if he did go to some scale like that just to mess with people? Like, you don't know if he's telling the truth. He's the president. It could be true. What if he did?
And he already got him believing at the inaugural that they're going to call Mark and everybody in the inauguration and kill everybody. Dude, them dudes was believing all that stuff, man.
That was great, right?
Gosh, man, I can't.
Did you actually see some of the videos of the people that were so disheartened about the fact that it didn't come true? That Q was like fake?
Yep.
Oh, it was funny, right? That's what I'm talking about. We don't miss that. Man, are you serious?
I have my own fun. Okay, here's kind of a strange story.
Go ahead.
A 500-year-old painting has been discovered in a flat in Italy and returned to a museum where staff were unaware it had even been stolen. And it's a copy of a Da Vinci by one of his students. So I don't understand quite like why that's quite so valuable, but it was big news because I was looking at it, was like, did you know Da Vinci only painted like 12 paintings?
That's why it's probably valuable then.
Well, it was by one of his students, so that would still be valuable.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, and then so in Thailand, it's illegal to criticize the monarchy.
Yes,
so a 63-year-old Thai woman has been jailed for 43 years for criticizing the royal family, and it said she posted audio clips from a podcast on social media. That was it.
So, my brother lives in Thailand.
Yeah. So
he went to the Emperor's Castle the other day. It was an interesting tour. He took me on it via Skype or FaceTime. So I got to see where the Emperor lives in his magical kingdom. It's interesting.
Man, interesting. If your brother's like you, he better watch his mouth.
Yeah, he doesn't. He is exactly like me, and he does exactly like me, but he does it in foreign countries. Okay, so yeah, he better watch himself. Yeah, he'll say some shit to the wrong person, and it would be in jail. Yeah, I'm safe. I'm in America. I'm in Concord. I can say shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, Thailand. It's an interesting place. I wish I could go there, but I think my brother's coming back, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to go there anytime soon. I think he's ready to come home now.
What is he doing there?
He was partying all the time, like Eddie Murphy said. That was his life because he was a soldier for so long. He was in the military, and then he did contracting, and so he had gotten injured in the midst of that, and so he was just, ready to be done with that and just enjoy his civilian life for a little bit, go to school, do the soldier thing, the ex-soldier thing. He was really in the midst though. My brother was like in the middle of Afghanistan, and he would tell us about the wintertime and how like they would like be out in the mountains and shit, and they would wait for them to get comfortable, and then they would start shooting at them and trying to pick them off. Like, you know, I mean, the Afghans, because they knew that territory, so they'd be in the mountains. And my brother said, yeah, the wintertime was the worst because it wasn't Christmas. It was like we would be stationed out there, and that was when they would go crazy trying to pick us off at night. And yeah, he has some stories. He has a lot of stories.
Well,
Tell you
now
that.
the U.S. is almost out of Afghanistan now. It's like,
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You know, well, actually, you know, I'm kind of like conflicted with that though. Do we want to leave what we've been trying to fix for 30 years, or not 30 years, 20
Well-
years, 20 years?
well, yeah, because I kind of, that's the thing. I mean, I kind of tend, like, I was just looking at it, like, 2 female Supreme Court judges were just shot dead. Because, yeah, it kind of seems to me like the United States hasn't really helped that much. I mean,
They haven't. They really haven't. We don't really help much go anywhere, do we?
oh, yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Might be right. Yeah, unfortunately, that experiment is gonna have to. We'll have to just check that off as a loss. It's like Vietnam.
I don't know. I kind of, yeah, it always kind of seemed to me that the U.S. like sent a bunch of troops there and then just kind of forgot about them. It's like, whoa.
They didn't know what to do. I don't think. I think they were trying to rebuild it, and it was just kind of crazy. And there's a lot of other things that are happening around the world. So, you know what's weird is Trump did some things like that we wouldn't have asked other people to do, but he just did them, and so we're like, oh, good, woo! Thank goodness he did that shit. You know, like
In the Middle
getting
East.
out of Iraq again and getting out of Afghanistan, and then like just these weird things that you're like, okay, good, or like some of the racist shit he does. It's like, okay, I'm glad he said it. You know, like I don't want Joe Biden to have to like deport everybody. I'm glad Trump did it. You know, it's weird.
Obama
like-
deported tons of people.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a falsity in itself, because you know he was coming in at the end of Bush, and he was using the Homeland Security's take on terrorism at that moment in
It's not a
2014.
falsity. I mean, he did it.
No, he didn't do it. He was using the Homeland Security of that time was from the Bush administration. He just let them stay around, and so they were still working on the original like
I mean, he could
terrorism document that they were going off of from when Al Qaeda came and got us.
he could have stopped it if he wanted. I mean, I don't really have
It
much.
wasn't on his radar. Let's just say that it really wasn't in his.
He was the
Yeah.
president.
He wasn't. I mean, he was doing the health. Okay, let's just think about what happened when Obama came into office. This man came in and the world was collapsing, right? So when you're coming in and like you've got like 2 months to like put everything in order because the last guy is like fucked it up and just threw his hands in the air. It was like, just give him all some money. You know, what are you gonna do? You got to fix that up, and then you got to give a stimulus package out to people so that they can survive. And then you got Republicans who say, well, we're not gonna work with you or do anything with you. So I mean, this dude had a lot on his plate. I'm sure, like down the list, there was the
Inherently, they do. Well, what's sad is that, you know, they basically had to spend the first year trying to fix the economy.
That's pretty much what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, remember, he only had 2 years of the House, right? Because Paul Ryan and his happy crew were coming in 2010. So they were.
I disagree with that entire interpretation. I think it takes 2, and so I think for me, it's like if they can't, I blame him. I blame him and Congress equally. I don't think it takes 1. I think it takes 2. Basically.
For what?
For like not being able to get anything done.
Well, I don't equally blame Congress at all. No, because look, in 2 years, he got a lot done. He got healthcare insurance done.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was like very quick in the midst of an economic collapse that we hadn't seen since the Depression. That to me in itself is like a
far as
super
that's
accomplishment.
concerned.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Right before the Tea Party came in, this is in the midst of the
Common interpretation. That's what you hear all the time, is like Congress being blamed for anything Obama didn't get done. And I say, I think it's both of them. It's like if
It's
both
so bland to say Congress though, because we have to remember it's not like it's almost like saying, well, you know, the bad guys messed up the this is in the midst of the battle. It's not, it's so bland. There's specifics, there's teams, there's Republicans and Tea Party people and libertarians all fighting together to
I think
success.
So
Bland to say
what's
Congress.
up,
You
Age?
have to remember, it's
How's it
not.
going,
It's Oh, almost Age, you're starting the
man?
bad echo.
That's so weird.
Oh,
This isn't a message.
Happy first
Weird.
day with no Donald Trump. Which is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, shout out to Obama though. He was able to juggle 5 billion things with one hand.
that's the job.
That's he did a damn good job of it. No, I don't think anybody else did that. I think when Bush came in fact, he had a very, very chillax time for an entire year. He only had that whole thing that happened in New York, and that was like already pretty much taken care of with the Clinton administration. Yeah, shout out to Obama though. He was able to juggle 5 billion things with one hand. Why am I hearing myself again?
That's the job. That's
Hey, bro.
No, I don't think anybody else did that.
That's
Okay.
an inherent part of the job. I mean, I sure as fuck wouldn't want to do it. Age
No.
popped in and out.
You know what's weird is I keep seeing this pattern of like Republican presidents leaving like the whole entire house trash, right, and messed up, and then a Democratic president comes in and has to clean it all up, and he spends like half his term cleaning it all up, and then the next half he like tries to do something, and then everybody gets mad because he doesn't do anything. That's what happened with Clinton, or he does something so extreme to appease everybody that he pisses everybody off. That's what Clinton did with the whole welfare reform. And then a Republican comes in off of the heels of the Democrat fixing shit, celebrates, rah, 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 good fun times. That's what Trump did. And then shit happens and he doesn't know how to fucking clean it up. Spills beer all over the floor. You know what I mean?
You're more partisan than I thought, Spider.
And then freaking here you go, having another liberal having to come in and clean up the fucking mess for the first 4 years of his term, and then then he can finally do shit. I hate it. I hate politics. I'm done.
Okay, let's talk about what's some cultural stuff that's been going on?
Cultural wise, like what?
I don't know. What music things have been? Oh man, didn't some real young rapper just get killed?
The fucking mess for the first 4 years of his term, and then then he can finally do shit. I hate it. I hate politics. I'm done.
Okay,
Age is being a passive listener.
Okay, what's some cultural stuff that's been? Okay, actually, Spider, did you hear us talking about the undercover? What music things? Oh man, didn't some real young rapper just get killed?
The fucking mess for the first 4 years of his
wow.
term. Then he can
How many years? It's
I
me.
hate it. I hate politics. I'm done. Age, go out and then come back in. Passive listener.
How's Age doing?
What's some cultural stuff that's been? Okay, actually, Spider, did you hear us talking about the undercover?
Oh wow. Wait, dude, how are y'all doing that though?
Oh man, no, that was Age. That's what happened when I came in, bro. That's exactly
what
happened.
How are you guys doing that when you guys come in like that?
I have no idea why that's doing that. It's so weird. That was funny. Okay, anyways, what were you saying, Anna? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, a law that we were talking about, the House of Lords in Great Britain, which is people that like inherit the ability to vote on things which affects lives and are like owe reparations to people because their ancestors made all this money enslaving people. And so they just passed a law making it. They had this for 30 years. They had this undercover program where they would send people in to infiltrate groups like radical environmentalists and radical animal rights people, like, yeah, real dangerous ones. And so these guys would take the identities of children that had died. And so that was really, once it was found out, that was traumatic for those families. And they hooked up with women and had babies and all of that. So there's been an inquiry going on about that right now. And a law was just passed. They're working on passing a law making it illegal for any of the undercover people to commit murder or rape. Can you believe that? I mean, wasn't
That's a
it?
lot of drama. Yeah,
Pardon?
that's crazy.
That is
a
really
lot.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, that is how you're supposed, like, okay, come on, man. It's like you may be undercover, but if you're a killer,
Yeah.
you're a killer.
Oh
So
yeah, of course, of course. There's no excuses. No, never. And the fact that you're trying to replace, yeah, they're doing a lot of real morbid shit over there in the Europe.
yeah.
And we see again, America. We're so worried about Q and all that shit. And here it is, right there in front of your face. They're really out there doing the wickedness.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, and then in Oxford University's also because they're especially, like we got a lot going on with like statues and all of them named after Confederate generals, but
Mhm.
in Great Britain, all those old buildings, just about everybody they have was complicit in something. So in Oxford University, All Souls College, they dropped Christopher Codrington's name from its library, but refused to remove the statue. And I think it should be the other way around, because it's I mean, you want these guys' actions to be known, and I mean, the idea is to move them to a museum, but no, you want to totally. Oh shit!
I think that's actually going off of that. I think that's the solution. I don't understand why we as a country ourselves can't like just make a museum for like slavery. You imagine that? Let's make it like, I mean, I'm sure we have a slave museum, but make it like a national. Put all the statues in there.
Yeah.
Put all their names, all their children's names, and everything. Yeah, you know what I mean?
There is a museum of slavery that a rich white guy started.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a real like national museum where all the statues can go, where people can fall on the ground and like look at how crazy America was, and they can get a real picture of it, go on field trips and shit. You know what I mean? And put all the statues.
It would be good to do it regionally, so people don't need to
put it in Georgia,
so that more people can see that. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You don't have replications of statues. I think you take all the Southern statues because people are mad at all the Southern people, right? And you put them in a museum. You take all the people that were where we glorify the people that terrorized the natives. You put them in a museum. And so we have all these little museums of crazy shit America did. And that way we can go on a little field trip around America every time. When we go on a little road trip, we can also stop at all the crazy shit that America did in the museum. One in Houston, Texas. Check out what we did to the natives. And you can go visit that. Or
there is a museum of lynchings. I mean,
I'm pretty sure there is. America is pretty proud of what it's done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's like, come on in here, sir. Check out all these ropes. Let me show you how we do this. Let's tie some shit. Right? That's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's sort of like, I mean, Germany has the concentration camps open for people to go through. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to make fun of that because I'm not Jewish, but I can only imagine. Come on in here, sir. Let's get into this oven. Like, what? No, this is not a ride. What are you doing?
One of the things that was so fucked up, there was this scandal at one point about kids that were there taking selfies. And I was like, fuck that, it's like, okay, these kids are like, they're
throwing up gang signs too, right? Yeah.
Just like they're
Auschwitz.
What
is wrong with us?
Cool. And taking selfies is what this generation does. I mean, they could be laying on their beach and they're gonna go see something that's scary and horrible. So I'm like, fuck that. You need to make it possible for, I mean, if you make something too horror, you need to make it accessible to people so that they'll come. You could just be on vacation going to the bar or something.
Yeah. So, you definitely don't want to make it exclusive to the rich white people that can go visit it and have a good old time. Man, our uncle did that shit. What? You don't want that.
Well, I definitely
urge him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I certainly know, there's plenty of Black people that don't want to go to a museum like that because they know about all that shit.
I'll tell
So-
you the real deal. I don't like watching racist movies like that.
Yeah.
Like especially like slavery movies. I won't watch them. I
Yeah.
won't. I'm very serious. I won't.
I know. Yeah.
Roselle, what about you, bro? Do you watch those?
Yeah, I watch them.
You do? You're cool with it?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I can't hang. I get so
I mean,
mad.
I won't trip out, but you got to see. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta.
I do not have to see a man get eaten by a dog.
What's that?
I do not need to see a man get eaten by a dog and watch other men laugh at him. No, it's I don't know, because it brings back too much of a reality. Not that it brings back a reality, but we know how real it was, and it's sort of like rubbing salt on the wound.
Yeah. Everybody's real different. Like
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I don't watch fucking Holocaust movies. I'm like, I know about that shit. I don't want to watch them.
I would imagine I wouldn't want to do that either if I was Jewish. Hell no, because imagine how angry
Let me
you
ask
would
you
get
this,
for Hollywood to
so-
glorify that shit on any circumstance. That's how I feel too about that. Is like any level of income that you're earning off of this is the income of people that were severely like tortured either in both situations. So yeah, I agree. Both of those.
I'm seeing it from two different. I'm seeing it from both ways though, because you got to see what happened in the past to understand what's going on now.
Do you know
So
what happened?
I believe you have to be able to see it.
Do you know what happened? Do you need to see more? It's almost like, all right.
Well, I believe it. I believe once you stop watching it, and then everybody stops watching it, it can get forgotten.
Yeah.
And history
should
can
be made.
repeat
People
itself. So
forget
you have
that.
to. Yeah, so you have to be able to, like, when you have kids and your kids have,
Mhm.
let's just say the whole situations happens again. Let's just say that someone wants to try to push the slavery, they're not going to know nothing about what's going on.
That's
Now,
an
if you've
interesting
seen the
point.
mo-
Do you think our civilization because we have to remember we're talking about a conscious civilization of about 300 million people in just the United States, of doctors, lawyers, mixed people of multi-cultures that aren't just black and white. You really think that slavery is going to come around again in the way that it did before? I don't really think so. I don't think that that's even a plausibility. So reflecting on that of my kids having to look at an old slave movie based off of that premises is not true.
I think you're thinking that because you know about it, but if later on down the line nobody knows about it and something like this were to come around, it's a different. You know about it. That's why you're saying that.
You're literally talking on some like Battlefield Earth type shit. Like 200 years from now, if we don't remember what we did,
Just forget
these
history.
motherfuckers that were supposed to be our friends are gonna fucking turn us into slaves.
Well,
Come on,
you can't
man.
just
No.
you can't forget history, dude. That's like
I'm
saying,
not.
well, why
It's not
don't-
even forgetting history. You
Let's
don't have
get
to
it.
make
Let's
a
forget
Hollywood
it. Let's
movie
forget
about
history
whipping
altogether.
slaves.
Let's forget history altogether. Let's just forget it.
No, but you don't have to make a
happened to our show?
movie.
Let's forget what Trump did at the Capitol. Let's just forget about it. Let's let it go. Let's forget it. Don't even worry about it. No.
Okay, so there's a difference between forgetting about a historical event and making a Hollywood movie about it. So let's make a Hollywood movie about it. It's the same thing as what they did with 9/11. They said, okay, never forget. This was a tragic thing. And then 5 fucking months later, you have 911, and then you have the other movie about the crash in the middle of nowhere. Like Hollywood always comes behind and tries to like use what you just said. Oh man, we can never fucking forget. So these have to be shown to say, oh, let's show it. Let's fucking put it in Hollywood and let's make sure it's glamorized. And now you have 12 years a slave. Like we need to see that. We saw
Yeah.
Bruce. Why do we need to see anything else?
I'm just trying to figure out where Spider is it glamorized. It's not that it's
12 years a
glamorized.
slave
It's
is not
not
glamorized.
glamorized.
Really, didn't they get an Academy Award or an Oscar? I could have sworn those movies
they may
get
have gotten an
every
Oscar,
year.
but I
every
don't think it
year.
was meant to be glamorized.
No, it's,
I mean,
it
I don't
totally
think it was
is.
meant
It's
to be
totally is. It totally is. It's the Black Panther phenomenon. When you take something that is so centristic to a group of people, right? You can market it so well. So Hollywood does this very, very well. They did this with Black Panther. What the fuck do you think Black Panther was all about? I was taking a character in the middle of February. What's February? What happens in February? And milking as much of it as they could. And they did a great job. They put a black director.
That's no different than Superman, though. On that
It
level, if
isn't-
we're gonna
no,
go
you're
back.
right. It's totally not okay. Now we're getting it. So this
But if we're
Hollywood
talking about
totally milks
historic,
so Hollywood comes in
actual-
and milks a slave movie for you. so that we can then say,
Oh,
this in our
man.
life, so we know it'll never happen again, or the
Most of those slave
Holocaust all
movies are
over.
real events. The only one that was kind of fictional was the one you're talking about, but most of them were real events, like Rosewood. Come on, man, that was real.
Okay. Oh, I got you. I don't need to see it.
Yeah, you don't, but other people do.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's significant others that do,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying my opinion again. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
I got some more news for you, Spider, which I
what?
okay, so you know how you were having the conversation about reading Huckleberry Finn in high school?
yeah.
Okay, so I was reading this article in the New York Times about a school in North Carolina where a mother was getting into it with the school because they were going to read a play by August Wilson, who's a great African-American playwright, and her son was the only Black kid in the class, which brings a lot of issues. But she didn't think that this play should be read, and
why were there language in the play that
they were going to say N-word.
Okay, same concept,
Yeah, they weren't going to, and it's a play by a major African-American author, and it was so it's like, okay, this is going to be taught appropriately, and not teaching it isn't the answer. Like, okay, lady, are you saying that you don't? Because if you do that, then you're not going to want to have anything, and then she was saying, she thought that it would make all the white kids think that all Black people are like that. Well, it's like you have more of a danger of that mentality if you don't give kids, books by Black authors. I mean, that's the reason to. So, I was like, I am siding with the school on this one. This is what they should be. This is, I mean, kids aren't. Kids understand that if you're reading a book, not everybody is like that. But I was thinking about you when I saw that, because I was like, they weren't going to use the racial epithet, and so
that's interesting.
Yeah,
in the 90s it would have been totally gun-ho.
Yeah,
that's when I grew up.
So there's been a slight, So I thought of the conversation you were having, like maybe people have caught on a little bit.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, that's seriously, it's an issue. I'm glad that it was brought up, because that happened in my school. And not just to me, but other Black kids that were in my school. Remember, I was like, I could count 10 people in my school that were Black. That was all my friends. That's how many Black kids were in our school. Maybe even 12. I don't know.
Yeah. So I saw that article like right after we had that conversation. It was also, I mean, this is cool. I mean, August Wilson just died a couple years ago. And
interesting.
So, I mean, it's cool also that they were teaching the kids, having kids read somebody like relatively contemporary. And film, like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is from an August Wilson play, and so is Fences. There's been a lot of films of his work
that have been played out.
Too. So I thought it was a great choice.
It makes a lot of sense in today's time that it would be appropriate.
Yeah.
But kudos to them. Good choice. Yeah, and I'm glad that they did make that choice. I don't know, white kids reading out loud saying, "Oh, I'm about to say nigger, here it comes," You're looking around. Nigger! What is that like? I need to know. You know what? I saw this comedy skit where this dude was asking, it must have been pre-fixed. This guy spotted this albino in the audience, and he's asked this dude, he's like, so you're Black, right? And he was trying to, he was doing the whole comedy skit around it. And he was like, I want you to say the N-word. The comedian wouldn't say nigga because he was white or he was Mexican or something like that. And he was asking the albino dude, he was like, say the N-word. Can you say it? And the albino dude was like, yeah, I'll say it right now. And he was like, nigga. And he was like, oh shit. And no, it was funny, but at the same time, it was just kind of weird the way our society looks at looks at races and appropriates rules for certain groups, and those rules are only limited to your hue. It's really funny because he was almost not allowed to say it.
I worked with
They were
kids and
surprised that he was allowed to say it.
they would try, and that, you know, they would try and like trick me into saying that word, because yeah, we were reading something or other where the N word was, and so they're like waiting to see like what she gonna do, and so, we're reading along, and I said like N word whatever, and they're going like, oh, you can, and I was like no, man, I'm not gonna say that word. So
you could turn a whole skit into that. You could turn a whole skit like Saturday Night Live right there. Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roselle, what would you do? You was in class and you was 7th grade and
I'd probably say N-word. I'd just say N-word. That's what I would say.
Yeah, you would? They would look at you like
grade.
They would look
I
at
ain't
you
gonna
weird.
say it.
They would look at you weird.
Yeah, I couldn't say it in 7th grade. That would have been in trouble. That would have been some trouble.
Hey, you're a good dude though, man. That speaks a lot about your character. So I'm not gonna even make no jokes about it. That's cool. Awesome.
Have you guys ever watched Insecure, the show with Issa Rae? Okay, they you know, it's like, it's a great, you know, it's about like millennial Black women. They constantly say the N-word, and they constantly call each other bitch. And so I'm like, man, you know, because actually, like with that word, I feel like for me, like I sort of feel like it was reclaimed and then claimed back or something. It sort of goes back and forth. Because I was like, yeah, there's a point where I'd use that word, but I just don't anymore. You know, I mean, I view it.
You know, that's one word that has evolved is bitch. I remember when you couldn't even say that.
I don't use that.
I remember. What's that?
I don't use that word.
What'd you say?
At all. I don't use that word. That's one of the words I don't use.
Yeah, but it's odd. I remember back when Queen Latifah had a song called "Who You Calling a Bitch?" UNITY.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it was like a big bad thing. Now it's like girls will be like, "Oh, that's my bitch." Bitch, don't be saying that. Yeah. You know, it's like it's no longer like it used to be.
And almost like if you're hood enough, you could say it too to your girl, like, and she'll be like, "That's a compliment." Like, look, that's my bitch over there, and she's like, "Yeah, that's my boo." Like, what the fuck? Where am I? Kill me now.
No, but I'm like, okay, I mean, the show is like written by a millennial Black woman, but I'm just surprised. I mean, I'm like, I'm always sort of like, you know, I'm like, oh, I mean, I was watching it because I heard it mentioned by somebody. So I'm like, I know you're, I was like, oh, I got to keep up and see what the young folks are watching.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Wow, they really say bitch a lot. So.
Yeah, I stopped watching young kid stuff. We watched Game of Thrones. We watched Sopranos last night. The first episode.
Oh man! Oh my God!
Sopranos
I've been listening to the Talking Sopranos podcast with Steve Papa and Michael Imperioli. They're going over all the episodes. Oh my God, it's so good.
Okay, that's funny because I just got into the first episode and I was kind of like,
You didn't watch the Sopranos before?
No, I've never watched the Sopranos.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch a lot of TV, like, so this is me going back and watching all the stuff I never watched. This is great.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch The Sopranos. It was long. I mean, I started watching it like about 10 years ago. So yeah, I did the same thing too. So which episode are you on?
Number 2.
Number 2?
I just started last night. We just got done with Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones was cool. Really liked it. I don't know why everybody was complaining about the last season. That whole thing was fantastic. Maybe because I watched it back to back, I didn't have the feeling of like, oh, it's the last season. It better be epic. It was just, it was a great conclusion. Yeah. Great. So love that whole series. Can't wait for the next one. I'll watch that one. No, last big thing I watched was Breaking Bad. That was it. Breaking Bad. I remember that.
Oh man. Well, you'll have to come back and like talk about the Soprano. Oh man.
We will. I'll have to get into it because I was kind of hesitant to get any further after episode 1. It was kind of bland. Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. My family kills people. I got it.
Well, what makes it so fun, and it's a family. It's not just about the mob. It's a family drama. So I think, to me, that's what makes it so much fun. Like, you know, like Carmel, Tony Soprano's wife is such a great character, and you know, his relationship with his kids, and so that to me is what made the show so special.
All right, I'll give it a couple more tries. I'll try a couple more episodes to tell you what I think later on.
It's really funny, and I just think it's like I was into Mad Men, but then
Didn't
like,
watch that either. Don't know any of
it's
those.
just not like. Well, I love fashion, so Mad Men had great clothes. That was what I wouldn't have stuck with it otherwise. But
What'd you watch, Roselle?
I used to watch Sopranos. Sopranos was cool, but I was like into The Wire, Oz.
I wonder why. Orange is the New Black, right?
So you know what you know about which one?
Orange is the New Black. I like all them shows.
I never seen that.
I watched like the first 2 seasons, and then it got really dumb.
I didn't get to watch the last season. My wife really likes that show, so she watched everyone. It was really cool. I watched it with her. I just finished. I missed the last. Oh, excuse me, last season, but she likes to watch a lot of different TV series. She watched everything. True Blood. She watches stuff from the Australia. She watches like this prisoner show from Australia that was like an old soap opera from like the early 70s called Prisoner Cell Block H or some shit like that. And she likes that. That's like her shit.
Where H go? He like popped on and came on.
He kept trying to come on, but something was going on.
Who, H?
He was supposed to come
Yeah,
on.
with his connection. Something was up.
Oh, we got to buy that new internet again. His internet must have expired. Someone needs to hook him up for his birthday.
Well, what kind of internet does he have?
I don't know. He got the internet that works for 24 hours.
Oh. Oh, I thought he got some weird internet or something.
You some internet,
like some AOL.
right?
You said like hours.
7-Eleven internet. Get you an instant internet phone.
Like, you're interested in museum? Are you interested in mummies?
Mummies?
Yeah.
No, I'm not really into like real or fake.
Real.
Pyramids are kind of interesting, but I'm not really a global. Like I'm not a worldly person, honestly. I haven't been enough into the world. I'm so into myself. I don't really think about others like that. So
okay, so
I'll try hard.
So yeah, okay, so we were in there were 100 like new coffins of mummies discovered in Egypt like a couple months ago that we were talking about, and then like 50 more were just uncovered. That's just amazing to me. I mean, people have been digging around that shit for like 150 years and they're still finding it. So a new museum is supposed to be opening, but everything's like held up because of COVID.
So, mummies caught the COVID too. What's this world coming to? Them mutated and got on the mummies. Man. So yeah, mummies, that's cool. Like anytime you can find some shit from back in the world, back in the ancient times to like prove, more shit, it's important. We need that. Otherwise, I don't know, we'll have white Jesus.
Yeah.
We need to, as soon as we find that mummy that's gonna cure that, find him.
Roselle, do you want to play some more music?
Do that. Guys, I actually have to check out. I have to go check in with my wife and see what's up with her. She just got back in the house. So,
okay. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Anytime you guys have this, send me a link. I'll come in and chat with you guys for a little bit.
Cool.
Lots of fun.
Right on, man. Thank you, Spider.
All right, for sure. Peace out, guys.
See you later.
All right. All right, you back?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, cool.
Was just doing some charges there. I swear, man. Spider, we appreciate you, man. You got a weird Spider has a real interesting thought process.
Yeah, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Man. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Lamont is not feeling well. So yeah, let's hope he feels better. And have not heard back from Thug Nasty. So shit, man, fucking Burn Dog. He just you know what, I think he was like looking so weird on purpose just to make sure he'd get attention. I mean, if he was looking normal, he wouldn't have.
Burn Dog.
I was like, see, there's people that agree with me. Somebody posted on Twitter like, can we how long do we need to be looking at Bernie Sanders? And somebody else was like, it's only been a day, you know. And my younger sister,
Yeah,
like,
you don't get a good rest of this week worth of Burn Dog.
well, the people that manufactured his mittens are going to make a killing. But my sister and I were writing back and forth about the fashions, and so yeah, she said something about how Bernie looked like our dad, and I was like, yeah, okay. He does. My dad is nothing like Bernie, but he's also like not the what did you just send me? Like not the greatest dress, not the greatest dresser. So, okay, let's see what the fuck this is. Like there's one like showing him sitting in a chair at a salon with curlers in his hair. And then people are like, he's so fucking tacky, like holding his manila envelope. But yeah, man, if he'd been like there like a normal person, nobody would have paid any attention to him, man. So Burn Dog's gotta try and steal some of the limelight.
Burn Dog.
Yeah, and then he like fucking posted something about Republicans and Democrats, like, watch out. Like, oh, please, will you shut up with your so-called agenda? And then AOC she wasn't in Washington for the inauguration. She went to go take part in a like strike somewhere. And that makes sense because I mean, you know, it's not like anybody. My brother was in Washington and with my nephew, and they said it was like barricaded. I guess they were there for a couple days before and like went to some historical sites and stuff, but the day of the inauguration, they just like watched it in the hotel. They couldn't even get out. It's like a war zone. So yeah. So okay, here's something more from the UK. So we've talked before about the Uyghurs who are Chinese Muslims, and they have been subjected to genocide and concentration camps forced labor, forced sterilization. Their hair is being so, this was like so fucked up. I was talking about this like with somebody that works at a salon. Like, yeah, man, people's like fucking extensions and hair is like possibly like from Uyghurs. So the UK was working on a trade bill, and they're going to, and they were trying to insert a clause that into the trade bill that preventing trading from countries that are committing genocide. And the amendment also has an influential backing of the British Board of Jewish Deputies, which is interesting because I actually need to it's really surprising because there is the BDS sanctions, because there are movements not to do business with the state of Israel because of their human rights policies, which Jews get real up in arms about. So it's kind of interesting that they are supporting this clause because, the Israeli government isn't committing genocide, but their human rights policy sucks, to say the least. So, but it's interesting that they're doing this because, they're saying that, that's not going to be very good for their cause when it comes to BDS. I mean, there has to be some rationale behind it, but the Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, in rejecting the so-called genocide amendment, is claiming that the UK government would never enter a trade agreement with the country well before its behavior had reached the egregious level of genocide. Well, especially since they've committed genocide themselves. It claims that the issue is best determined in the international courts. Like, oh, come on. It's not like anybody at a trade meeting is going to be talking about like, oh, okay, well, we need to make sure you're not committing genocide before we do anything. So yeah, you can't leave that stuff up to businesses to do the right thing on their own, because they won't. They don't, so far as like child labor and sweatshops and anything. This is the Uyghurs. China is the biggest exporter of cotton in the world, and the Uyghurs are being forced to pick cotton. So so that's the forced labor. And I was like, shit, man, like there weren't enough problems already, because you can already with looking at stuff made in China. So I don't know. You have to try and do something about those issues, and not just wait for people to decide to do the right thing, because they won't. And like, for example, I was reading this article by a young I've read his stuff before. He's a professor from Zimbabwe who lives in the UK. And he's one of the instrumental people between trying to take down the statue of Cecil Rhodes. I think the Brits pronounce it Cecil. And he was a racist and imperialist who built a society based on racism and exploitation. But so this young guy, I mean, he's like just only in his 30s. And so he was talking about being sent to school in what his experience was like, going to some fancy ass school, and in Zimbabwe, where there were like 10 Black kids in the school in Zimbabwe. It was all like, the white people that had been there, like making money off the country. And his grandfather had been thrown in jail, had been killed by the British during the struggles for independence. And so he was writing about trying to because Mugabe, Robert Mugabe, who was deposed on my birthday, used the history of the racist imperialist history to justify his own dismal human rights record. And so when people so he would respond to complaints about his policy by saying that it was a legacy of colonialism, and he disagreed. So people were in the situation of trying to point out, I mean, it was, he was right and he was wrong. I mean, he was right that the legacy of colonialism had created a lot of these problems, but he used that as an excuse to decimate his own country. And when they took over the land, 200,000, and when they took the land from white farmers, which we agree with, while as many as 200,000 Black farmers lost their jobs. So he was able to justify justified his actions by saying it was because of colonialism, which was true, but then he also justified the Zimbabweans not getting any benefit from this by blaming that on colonialism. So, in the worst cases, I just read, so he was also writing that as many as 20,000, like the Zimbabwean army murdered as many as 20,000 civilians over a period of 5 years in the 1980s, and Mugabe took power around 1980. So I don't know, man. It's a real interesting place. And so, yeah, we can talk more about it about the Rhodes Must Fall movement, because that is trying to take down the statues of Cecil Rhodes. And then it's weird because there's Rhodes scholars, and you hear about this prestigious award. Clinton was a Rhodes scholar, and it would be a trip to be going to school someplace. And people ask him, like, what is it like to be from a country that was colonized and being a professor in a university that was built with the proceeds of colonization? So, it's just really interesting. It's just really complicated, and how connected all of this stuff is. And, going back to reparations in this country. So, our history isn't as long as the Great Britain's, but I don't know. So their corruption, it's deep here, and there's universities in the United States that have divested money that was from their endowments by slavers. So, and yeah, so you just need to try and do the right thing, however you can. So, okay, and then we were following women giving birth in Ireland. And it's this is just kind of the same theme of stuff that's really interesting to me. How do you reconcile the wrongs of the past? What can practically be done? And so the Catholic Church is rightly being blamed for the abuses of mothers and children that were sent there. but responsibility also rests with the fathers. So like, yes, I mean, they were just, I mean, in that era, all they had to do, just they could get off scot free. All they had to do was be like, not mine. You're on my, whatever. You're on your own. Like, what? Hey, I don't know her. And so, yeah, I mean, they should be held accountable as well. I mean, it's just weird when you look at that mentality. Like, I bet some of them, I bet there are some of them that don't even remember possibly that they had, like, say they might vaguely remember, like, oh yeah, I knocked up a girl when I was 18. And I mean, I think if you have them, and if they could have, I mean, it's like systemic racism. You can be if your culture does not value people, these women weren't valued, and so you could just think the same thing and like somehow use that to justify being inhumane and like letting this person not doing anything to help this kid who is, you should be, his father should be as responsible as mothers. So the women were not when the women gave birth, they weren't given any pain relief or sedation. They were told that it was a punishment from God. And up to the last one of these homes closed in 1998, and up to 9,000 children died in 18 institutions between 1922 and 1998. But they don't even really know, because records weren't kept, and they found mass graves, and so but there's women that want, they want compensation, and they want, I don't know. I mean, they want apologies from the church. It's like, oh, well, I don't know, man. I would not hold my breath waiting for that. And, then of course people in power are going to be saying like, oh, it happened in other countries too. Like, yeah, but this was a extremely Catholic country. So they were able to set up these systems, and the convents or whatever they were paid money by the state for so-called taking in these women. So, I mean, it was such a Catholic country that they were able to make these arrangements. So, yeah. So I am working on the Bayard Rustin Symposium, which will be the first event I've ever put on over Zoom. So that is coming together with our presenters. We have some interesting people, and we're figuring out how to do it. We're going to be doing it at my friend and colleague Lawrence Shine's home, partially because Lawrence is allergic to cats, so we can't do it at my home, which is also good, which is good also because they actually, I was like, because we're going to be doing this like all day, and so it might get kind of hard to keep my cats in line. So yeah, and I would sure as fuck have to clean my house to do that. So Lawrence's house is cleaner than mine. A lot. Yeah. What was the last one I did? Oh no, this wasn't the one for our show. Oh, on the Twitch Talk podcast I work on tomorrow, we're going to be doing a show about Tabitha, which was the spin-off of Bewitched that was only around for a season, with Lisa Hartman playing Tabitha. So it's supposed to be Tabitha, the little girl, all grown up. And so I was going to do a fashion thing about it, but the clothes just aren't that interesting, and I haven't gotten it together. But okay, they showed an interview with somebody who had worked with Elizabeth Montgomery, who showed them how to do the twitch. So this is how she went like this. Does it make that doesn't look like Elizabeth Montgomery, does it?
Splitting image.
Because it said she twitched her nose, but she didn't twitch her nose. She was moving her lips, but somehow it made it look like she twitched her nose.
I remember I didn't make that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how she did it.
Yeah. Well, like this, but I'm getting better at it actually. I was practicing. So yeah, it's going to be and then somehow it's going to be edited. It's supposed to be screened like just a week later. So Mark is going to need to the guy that runs the program is going to need to edit it all and all of that. So that will be, but then we get back to talking about Bewitched, which will be a lot more fun. Tabitha is, I went along, I'm doing it because I'm part of this show. And so I want to show up for this too, but it'll be nice to be back with our group. So anyway, we were supposed to have Thug Nasty on tonight, but I guess he was doing something else. So Thug,
We'll get him. We'll eventually get him. We'll get him.
We get him. Yeah, we're gonna get you, Thug. Yeah,
we're gonna get you, Thug.
What's so funny? Exactly, we sure are. Yeah. Well, what's so funny is that we will sometimes wind up some of the nights he'll like contact me, be like, oh, we're doing it tonight. And I was like, then it's been nights that we had to reschedule. So somehow like he was all ready to go on Tuesday, but I guess he had something else happening tonight. So yeah. Okay. Well, happy Joe Biden administration to everybody.
Woo! Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully, a little bit of normalcy, some normalcy for a little bit.
I know, huh? Yeah. Spider.
No, they were talking to Dr. Fauci, and he was happy. He said now he could speak without having to worry about, like with Trump, he was scared or he gets a little nervous about what he'd say, but he says he feels comfortable with Biden and them.
Yeah. Dr. Fauci's a fucking hero. Oh my God. He's an amazing person. So yeah. Oh man, I'm having a good listening to this. See, it's funny because listening to the Sopranos podcast with Steve Schirripa and Michael Imperioli, who played like Bobby Bacala and Christopher Moltisanti. Christopher was one of my favorite characters, so he's a lot more interesting than Bobby Bacala. It's funny because it's not just their characters. He's done a lot more thing. He wrote several of the episodes, so it's interesting to hear from somebody who's done screenwriting and how that works. So, but yeah, they've had different people on from the show. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So should we try and get back on schedule and do a show Tuesday night, or should we wait till the next?
No, let's do Tuesday. We'll do Tuesday.
Okay, everybody.
This is a setup. You haven't seen the new setup. I have a new setup. I set it up on Tuesday, actually. Tuesday and Wednesday. So I have an actual desktop instead of using a laptop.
Oh, good.
Which is a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's a little bit better. So I'm getting used to this. And like I said, it's better. It just seems a little bit better. It looks better. You'll see it. One of these days, you'll see it. When next time you come here, you'll see the new setup.
Yeah, one of these days.
It has a new webcam and everything. So
Cool.
All right.
Okay, everybody. We will see you back
Next
on
Tuesday,
this coming Tuesday,
which will be the 26th, I think.
the 26th. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, y'all.
All right. Thank you. Good night. See y'all
Good
later.
night.
So, yeah.